The Galactic Empire had ruled for over 3,000 years, worlds burned and bent at its will. From the frozen moons of Vorath to the lava-skinned planets of the Kallan Rift, the Empire's grip was absolute. Entire species had submitted, some voluntarily, others after bloody, brutal campaigns. But never Earth. Earth was considered a backwater, a primitive planet dangling in the Milky Way, too far from the Imperial core to be seen as anything but a minor annoyance. When humanity refused the first envoy's demands to kneel, the Empire sent warships. They never returned. Reports came back garbled, filled with static and brief flashes of horror. Imperial dreadnoughts torn apart mid-warp, fleets ambushed in asteroid fields that shouldn't have even existed, soldiers whispering of ghosts in power armor. Then, silence. Emperor Calderon dismissed it as technical failure or perhaps the handiwork of one of the rogue systems. Earth wasn't even part of the star charts until recently. Surely it couldn't pose a threat, not when entire planets fell at the mere sight of the Imperial crest. But the silence grew louder. So Calderon sent Admiral Shurek, one of his most ruthless commanders, to resolve the human problem. A man known for massacres, for ending rebellions before they ever began. He arrived at the Sol system with 27 battleships, 5 carriers, and 100,000 soldiers. He made it as far as Mars. What came next would haunt the Empire's core forever. The first signs of trouble weren't Earth's weapons, they were their absence. No planetary defense grids, no orbital mines, no energy shields, nothing. The Empire expected a quick win, maybe a few rebellious outposts firing old tech. But as the Imperial forces entered Mars' orbit and prepared to descend, every ship lost contact at once. Within 2 hours, Mars was under human control. The only broadcast the Empire received was a live video feed from one of their own dropships. A human, in torn combat gear with dried blood on his cheek, stared into the camera. His eyes were cold, calculated. "You sent your best," he said. "That was cute." He turned slightly, revealing a line of human soldiers standing behind him. Some wore armor patched together with scavenged alien tech. Others carried rifles that glowed with eerie, humming cores, clearly not standard human issue. "We're the Scouts," the man said. "Just a warm-up squad." He leaned forward, grinning like a predator. "The real army hasn't even arrived yet." And then the feed cut out. Across the galaxy, noble houses panicked. Military strategists scrambled to understand what they had just seen. Earth, this undeveloped planet, hadn't just resisted. It had annihilated, cleanly, quietly, no messy rebellions, no drawn-out sieges, just gone. But how? The question echoed through the High Council like a virus no one could cure. On Earth, deep beneath the surface of Alaska's Black Mountains, General Arya Morgan stood in front of a massive hollow table. Her officers surrounded her, silent and waiting. She was known as the Ice Queen, a legend within the Phantom Division, Earth's covert planetary defense force. Her voice was calm but carried weight. "The Empire's starting to notice," she said. One of the officers, Captain Ramos, frowned. "Think they'll send more?" Arya looked straight at him. "They always send more." She turned to the table, where dozens of red dots lit up one after another, indicating incoming fleets. "Time to wake the sleepers," she said. "Let the real army know it's their turn." Somewhere in deep cryo, thousands of enhanced soldiers began to stir. Earth's real defenders. Soldiers engineered for war in ways the Empire couldn't fathom. Trained in virtual arenas where they killed gods, not men. The Galactic Empire thought Earth was playing defense. They had no idea Earth had been waiting for this war. The Empire wasn't built on fear. It was built on control. But fear was now seeping through the cracks of that control like poison gas in a sealed chamber. In the Imperial War Room on Ziricon Prime, Grand Strategist Velon paced in tight, controlled steps. Holograms of destroyed ships blinked in red above the table, vessels from the Mars operation gone without a trace. His fingers trembled slightly, a rare show of emotion for a man known as the brain of the Empire. "We underestimated them," he muttered. General Koresh, a brute of a man in obsidian black armor, scoffed. "They're primitives. They're not capable of this without help." "Do you see any other flags flying on Mars?" Velon snapped back. "No other species has claimed responsibility. No political movements, no pirated tech. This wasn't sabotage. It was war. And Earth just won the first round." Emperor Calderon didn't speak. He sat on his throne of living metal, carved from the bones of extinct rulers, eyes scanning the footage again. The human soldier's grin echoed in his mind. That confidence wasn't arrogance. It was certainty. "I want Earth glassed," the Emperor finally said. "Every city, every mountain. I want the soil screaming." The room fell silent. "Sir," Velon said carefully, "what if that's what they want?" Calderon turned his cold gaze on him. "Explain." Velon tapped a command into the holo table. "We've seen this before, in ancient wars. When a force wants you to strike with everything, it's because they've set the trap. What happened on Mars was surgical. They didn't destroy the ships from orbit. They let them land. Then they took them." Koresh scoffed again. "You're saying humans lured us in, took our ships and soldiers without a trace, and sent a message to mock us?" "I'm saying we have no clue what we're dealing with." Back on Earth, General Arya Morgan stood in the underground chamber known as the Core. Around her, the atmosphere buzzed with energy. The walls were lined with cryopods, thousands of them, each housing a different kind of warrior. One by one, the pods opened with sharp hisses. Steam rose like ghosts. Men and women stepped out in silence, their eyes glowing faintly with biotech enhancements. These weren't ordinary soldiers. These were phantoms, products of Earth's final war, forgotten by the public, erased from history, and trained for a fight that was never supposed to come. Until now. Colonel Dex Rowan stretched as he stepped from his pod, muscles tightening like coiled wire. His left arm was cybernetic, a relic from the AI wars. His right eye flickered with a tactical HUD as he scanned the room. "Did we miss the apocalypse?" he asked with a crooked grin. "No," Arya said, folding her arms. "It's just beginning." Rowan looked around at the